DC's Injustice universe is, for all intents and purposes, a smoldering war zone thanks to the efforts of a megalomaniacal Superman and his crew of jackbooted metahumans. They've committed all sorts of atrocities, from cold-blooded murder to summary executions. But make no mistake, this war goes far beyond scuffles between its greatest superheroes, and that's exactly what we're here to talk about today. In this video, you're going to find out what happens when some of the world's greatest superheroes go toe-to-toe with the gods and goddesses of the Greek pantheon. But before we begin, please don't forget to leave a like on this video and subscribe to our channel. It'll really help us create more of these amazing pop culture content. That said, let's dive right into today's tale. When the Greek gods fought DC's superheroes. Atop his throne, the king of Olympus and Greek god of thunder, Zeus, listens to his wife Hera. Since when do you care about the plight of man? Earth is under the rule of an alien who dares think he is a god, a being called Superman. I know when you're being conspiratorial, my wife. What is your endgame? Only for the gods to reclaim their rightful standing among mortals. This exchange between the king and the queen of the Greek pantheon set off a chain of events that pit the gods of Olympus against the world's greatest superheroes. Because not long after that, Zeus, in his arrogance and ignorance of Hera's machinations, sends an army right to Superman's doorstep. Hermes, together with the Amazons and Batman's insurgents, demand Superman and his gang of fascists to surrender. The Greek gods believe they're false gods and that Earth belongs to them rightfully. Hermes, messenger of the gods, we do not submit to your decree. Instead, we demand this matter to be settled with judgment by combat. If nothing else, you can always trust the superheroes of the Injustice universe, regardless if they're from the regime or the insurgents, to escalate things and make it worse. Superman volunteers to be the regime's champion, and Batman, being the sly tactician that he is, drafts Wonder Woman, Soup's own right-hand woman, to represent the Greek gods. She cannot refuse. It's a formal challenge after all. A battle ensues between the Man of Steel and the Princess of Power, with the Wonder Woman ultimately defeating the Kryptonian. The matter was seemingly settled until Sinestro, one of Superman's generals, intervened. This breaks the pact made between the two parties when they agreed to judgment by combat. In the end, Hermes declares Superman and his regime to cede all power to the Greek gods by morning. Meanwhile, Wonder Woman returns to Kal-El's side. They don't have to fight anymore, now that judgment by combat is over. However, Hermes' demand for Kal-El to leave Earth and be part of the Pantheon does not sit well with the Themysciran princess, and this is where the proverbial crap hit the fan. The regime and the Greek gods face off in full-on combat. Hercules makes easy work of an injured Superman as he punches him so hard that the Kryptonian literally gets thrown into orbit. While all of this is happening, little did the regime nor the insurgents know that Ares, the Greek god of war, has his own machinations going on, so he sicked a powerful superhuman against them. It's time. Superman needs you. Shazam! Shazam arrives in front of the regime's stronghold to defeat Hercules. In spite of the world's mightiest mortal's clean victory against the Lion of Zeus though, Superman can't help himself but sucker punch Hercules. You have killed the lion, son of Zeus. This turn of events serves pretty much as a declaration of war between the regime and Olympus. From there, matters only got worse as both sides rushed each other, metahuman against god. The fighting only stops when Shazam inadvertently transforms into his human alter ego. Billy Batson and Zeus arrives on Earth. How? I am the Allfather. You only have your gifts because I allow it. No more. I will not have you use them to harm my children. As a show of power, Zeus even kills Harley Quinn when she tries to rescue Billy. Then, the ultimatum. The Greek god of thunder outright orders Superman and his cronies to leave their fortress or suffer the wrath of Olympus. To add insult to injury, Zeus even commands Wonder Woman to leave Soup's side and stand with him and Batman's insurgents, which she begrudgingly agrees to. In a flashback, the Greek god of war reveals his true motives. Now, I have pulled the strings of man, God, and alien. I have created a war and brought Olympus along willingly. Though to be fair, Ares is only acting according to his nature. In any case, everything he does right now is to exact vengeance against his father, Zeus, for cursing him into becoming the god of war a millennia ago. He and Superman then put their plan to defeat the combined forces of the Greek pantheon and the insurgents by drafting Poseidon to their cause. The god of the oceans attacks Batman and the other Greek gods at the regime fortress. With a tsunami bearing down on them, the chaos only stops when the King of Atlantis enters the battle after some convincing from the Dark Knight. A battle between Aquaman and Poseidon ensues, which triggers another tsunami that threatens to swallow the world, starting with the heroes and gods at the regime's fortress. Eventually, Superman discovers that Ares is double-crossing him, as the god of war has made a deal with the dread Darkseid. Ares was to crush your dreams of world peace and order and then deliver you in chains for what you did to my son. Superman had killed Kalibak, Darkseid's heir, back when his regime was starting out. Everything that's happening now is thanks to the strings that he, Ares, and Hera pulled as a way to get revenge on the respective subjects of their ire. As with most disagreements in the world of superheroes, Superman and the regime ultimately decided to settle their score with the Greek pantheon in an all-out brawl. It was only until the intervention of Highfather, leader of DC's new gods, that Zeus was finally able to be convinced to back down. Exploiting your vanity, they coaxed you into disregarding your long-standing tradition of ignoring the antics of mortals so that you could further their true agendas, to destroy Superman, Hippolyta, and you. Long story short is, Zeus is a chump. His wife Hera used him to get back at Hippolyta, Wonder Woman's mother and Zeus's ex-lover. Ares manipulated him into war to get himself killed in the process, and Darkseid, by extension, used him to take revenge on Superman and have Zeus kill his nemesis, Highfather. A petulant Zeus asks Highfather what he would do if he refused to leave Earth alone. And it is here that we get a glimpse of how sly the leader of the new gods can be. Then we fight, and the best you can hope for is that we will destroy each other. But that is precisely what Ares and Darkseid want, is it not? So, the only question you need to answer is, how much longer do you wish to play their fool? And with those words, Zeus gets humbled. He swears to lay off Earth for all eternity. Thus ends the war between the Greek gods and DC's superheroes. But in the world of injustice, this potentially world-shattering event was just a discretion from the real war going on. Zeus and his family might have gone off to Olympus, but the battle between the regime and the insurgents rage on. That's a story for another time though, so if you want to find out what happens to Supes and Bats in the grimdark corner of the DC multiverse, or if you have any other superhero stories you want us to cover, let us know in the comments. And please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to be the first to see the amazing pop culture videos that we're preparing for you guys. See you soon, only here at KRTV Marvel.